Hello, everybody. Welcome to this podcast. In today's today's podcast episode, we're gonna be looking at some Harry Potter theories. We're gonna end this one with, let's just say, sad theory. But let's get right into it. This is all unabridged and unscripted, so if you have any questions, go to my blog and ask some questions. Okay, first one is that the Dursleys weren't actually bad people. If you remember from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, or if you've watched the movie Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, you remember that when you wear the locket of Slytherin, because it's a Horcrux, it makes you feel bad and negative and have anxiety. So, well, why does that happen? It's a Horcrux. And if you also remember, Harry Potter is an accidental Horcrux. And the Dursleys have always been really bad to him. Well, what if, just like the locket affected Ron, Harry, the Horcrux, affected the Dursleys and made them really bad? Now that makes a lot of sense, right? So let's move on to the next theory. Crookshanks, Lily Potter's cat. Crookshanks was bought by Hermione in the third book, The Prisoner of Azkaban, and actively tried to murder Scabbers. What a bad cat. And then forced Hermione and Ron to not speak to each other for weeks on end. Now, in the end of the book, there's a plot twist that Scabbers isn't just an innocent old rat. No, no, no. And also, he's not dead. He's actually an animagus who is actually, get ready for this, Peter Pettigrew. Dun dun dun. This was such a big reveal, and it set up everything. It set up Voldemort's return. But now you just imagine, why was Crookshanks trying to kill Peter Pettigrew? Well, what if she knew that Peter Pettigrew was actually Scabbers all along? But how would she know that? How would you know that? Well, it's simple. Crookshanks is Lily Potter's cat. And this adds up because in the book, it tells that Crookshanks meets up with the animagus form of Sirius Black, the black dog. And what if she meets up with him because he's familiar to her, because he always transformed near her owner, huh? It sounds like it works, right? Right, guys? I think I might just be going crazy. Okay. So next one is Harry Ron accidental shears. In the Goblet of Fire, Harry and Ron made some amazing predictions. And by that, I mean they just made stuff up so they would get max in divination. Let's go. Best subject ever. So what they did is they just made everything up for their dream diary. And it all turned out to be true. Now, this was some amazing foreshadowing on the author's part. But he said, this is the literal words. They first predict that Harry is going to be in danger of burns on Monday. Monday is the first task, okay? He is in danger of burns. They fight dragons, for God's sake. Okay, now they predict that they're gonna lose that he's gonna lose a treasured possession, right? This is for Harry. And he loses the friendship of Ron, which is the most treasured thing that he owns. Then they predict that that Ron's gonna drown underwater and doesn't breathe. Well, that's in the second task, right? He's in an enchanted sleep, right? So he should be partially right on that part. Finally, Harry predicts that he's stabbed in the back by someone he thought was a friend. Now, this can be two things. It can be Ron again, because Ron believes that he put his name in the Goblet of Fire. Or it could be Mad Eye Moody / Barty Crouch Jr., because Barty Croucher's Mad Eye Moody the entire year. Anyways, that's horrible, because it actually does happen. And then the last prediction they make is that he's gonna that Ron bets in a fight, and Harry's in that fight, worse in a fight. And this is just his duel with Voldemort. Now, this is very clever foreshadowing based on J.K. Rowling's part. But how did we not realize this? Oh my god, okay. Maybe we need to see what else they made up. Okay, the next one is probably one of the craziest in our entire podcast. Harry and Hermione are siblings? Dun, dun, dun. Now, Harry and Hermione are pretty weird because both of their parents are, well, Hermione's parents are muggles, okay? And Harry's parents are dead because of you-know-who. Why did I say who-know-who? Voldemort. And then basically, this theory says that Hermione was the lost daughter of Lily Potter, who was handed over to the Muggles, and Harry was handed over to the Dursleys. And this is proven because in the books, like, there are many moments where Harry automatically understands what, like, Hermione's thinking when Ron doesn't, and, like, siblings, you know? And you might be thinking, what part? You dum-dum? How about... Okay, I'm sorry, you're not a dum-dum. Please don't leave. Okay, so one of these is the SPEW, the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare. Oh my god, I said that. I never forget. Okay, I said it right. Okay, so the next part... so basically, she goes to the kitchens, right? And Ron asks, why are we going down here? And then Harry already knows, it's SPEW. This is in the 4th book, too. And Hermione is like, to meet the house elves. And then Ron finally understands. But Harry knew all along. Because Harry and Hermione are siblings. Also, you know the Granges, right? Now, just think for a second that Hermione isn't their daughter, right? So now, just think about it, right? If it is this way, then HJP can stand for Harry James Potter and Hermione James Potter. It makes sense, come on. It makes so much sense. And I have another theory that Hermione was actually Hermione's godfather is Snape. I'll just pause for like dramatic effect. Snape. Okay, anyways, so why do I think this? It's because James and Snape have had such a rivalry, but Lily was Snape's friend for a long time, and she probably wanted to make up, as he was no longer that. She just missed her friend. That's what I expect, right? And she wanted to make up, so she made Hermione's godfather Snape. This all fits. So now onto another theory. That one was quite unlikely, but I think it's true. Now the next one, this one is a lot more realistic. Neville is not bad at magic. He's not. He's just really good. Like, in the first few books, like up to the 5th one, he sucked at magic. He absolutely was terrible at it. But why? Is it just because he sucks at magic? But why? Right? And now you think about it. The wand chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter. Well, that's That's real, right? Ollivander studied wand lore. He should know that. The wand chooses the wizard. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. Anyways, the wand chooses the wizard. But Neville didn't get that chance, as he wanted to continue his father's legacy, and he took his father's wand. Now, his father and his mother were like cruciated to madness, which means tortured to madness, so they couldn't use it. So he just took their wand, and then he used it. Now, think for a second. If the wand doesn't choose you, it won't make good magic. You're not its real owner. And that's supported because in, like, the Deathly Hallows, Harry breaks his, Hermione breaks Harry's wand, right? And he uses other wands and they're not that effective because he didn't win them. It's only until he wins the Hawthorn wand from Draco Malfoy that he actually is able to use a wand. So if Neville is not able to use it, well, then that all adds up. That's why he sucked at magic. It's not his fault. It's the bad wand. It's not his wand. But you might be saying, what about the DA meetings? He was so good at them. Well, I think that's when he proved to the wand that he was also a good person. The wand finally chose it as his wizard. Now, why would he do that? Well, firstly, that wand was made out of unicorn hair, and it said that unicorn hair is the most loyal. So when when its owner, Neville's father, was no longer able to do magic properly, it didn't go to Neville that fast, right? Because it's very loyal. So when it saw that Neville was doing all this, it finally accepted him. So it didn't matter anymore. But then, you know what happens in the 5th book? Neville's wand gets destroyed. Well, Neville's wand's get destroyed. And then he's super good at magic from the next one. Because he finally has his own wand. It all makes sense. Okay, now this one is 2 theories packed into one. Dumbledore. A mysterious character who's getting even more mysterious because of the Secrets of Dumbledore movie coming out. This theory says that Dumbledore is Ron. Dramatic pause. Yeah, well, this all adds up, right? So what this theory says is that Ron and Dumbledore have all the same features. Ginger hair when they were younger. This was confirmed because of Dumbledore going and showing Harry his memory when he first met Tom Riddle. And he had ginger hair. And, well, all the Weasleys are redheads, so that makes sense. Next up, his eyes. Now, Ron's eye color was not defined until the 6th book. Why would you wait that long? It should be one of the most defining things ever. And it was said to be blue. Dumbledore's eyes are blue. Okay, next up. We know because of the stupid cursed child play that time turners are still in use after the breaking of it in the 5th book. So technically it's possible that Ron went back in time and then became Dumbledore. I mean, it doesn't add up, but like it's possible. And they look so alike. And with like years of wisdom, it should give him all the quotes. Light can be found even in the dark. Oh wait, no. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one just remembers to turn on the light. Or like this quote, which is like, pity the living, Harry, not the dead. Like, these are all stuff that will be given if you are actually from a war, right? And Ron was in the thick of it. So, yeah, that's the first theory about Dumbledore. The second one is that Dumbledore is the embodiment of death. Now, this one is confirmed to be true. So this isn't really a theory, this is a fact. So, you know the 3 brothers tale from the Deathly Hallows, where there are 3 brothers who cheat death by making a bridge through the river to get past. And Death grants them each something they want. The eldest brother gets the Elder Wand, an unbeatable wand. The middle-aged brother gets the Resurrection Stone because all he wanted was to see his love again and get married. And the third brother just wanted to not be bothered by death again, and so he took the invisibility cloak. Well, this theory says that Dumbledore is Death, and the eldest brother is Voldemort. All he wants is to never be killed. His whole character is because of that. So, the second brother is Severus Snape. The only thing he ever wanted was Lily's love. And then the third brother is Harry Potter. Now. You might be thinking, yeah, that all makes sense, but like, how could Dumbledore be Death? Well, Death had all of the three things at once. And the only character that is known to have all three things at the same time is Dumbledore. So Dumbledore is definitely Death. It's been confirmed. The second to last theory is the centaurs are divine. Maybe that centaur from the fifth book wasn't lying. Centaurs are the greatest magical being. They are divine, and they can make theories. So basically, they're really smart. And if you remember from the first book, when Harry is given detention with Hagrid in the Forbidden Forest because of Norbert the dragon. So basically, he gets in trouble for hanging out late at night with Hagrid. And his punishment is to go hang out with Hagrid late at night. Good punishment, guys. Really, really good punishment. Okay, anyways, when he gets there, there's Voldemort, and he tries to kill him. But then a centaur comes in, and this is the same centaur who becomes the divination teacher in the fifth book when the seer Trelawney is fired. So, yeah. He saves him, and then every other centaur is like, "Why did you do that? The stars have told us that Harry Potter will die at the hands of Lord Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest." And they thought that he ruined the theory, because, like, he was about to die in the Forbidden Forest at the hands of Lord Voldemort, right? And that's kind of weird, because, Harry Potter dies in the Forbidden Forest at the hand of Lord Voldemort 7 books later. 6 books later. Right? And maybe they were right. I mean, definitely they were right. He did die. He just didn't die for long. Okay. That didn't make much sense, but trust me, it works. The last theory is the most depressing theory of all. Harry Potter is a mental person who has gone and created this magical world of Hogwarts to escape reality. Which is that he's a Dursley and he's living under the stairs. With such poor living conditions, he has created the magical world of Hogwarts. On the first, day that we see him, like, this isn't the first chapter, but, like, with the Dursleys, remember that he, like, literally, Dursley gets, like, a pigtail by Hagrid, and, the theory says that the Dursleys literally did that and sent him off to a mental hospital where he would only come back in the summer holidays. And this hospital was named Hogwarts. And this is where he created the Hogwarts, thing. The Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It's not actually real. It's not real. It's just mental. It's just mental. Okay, anyways. The theory further on says that Sirius Black made his life pretty easy. He made it chill, and as soon as he died, everything went bad for him, and that's when his mental illness got worse. And Lupin in his line, well, Lupin means, lunacy, which means he's lunatic. And this just means he's a lunatic, man. Also, he created all these worlds because he's just a mental patient. So good luck reading the books and realizing that this is all just inside his head. Man, why did I include this theory? I should have ended this on a lighthearted one. Let me just think of a Harry Potter theory to share. Oh, right. I do have one. Harry Potter is dead! Okay, see you guys in the next podcast.